Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the 2024 Nissan Frontier PRO-4X. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Nissan here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this Frontier. They actually have a few 2024s in inventory already, so if you're interested, I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a super reliable 3.8 liter naturally aspirated V6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 310 horsepower and then 281 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see how it's kind of raised there on either side, an overall boxy design. And then we've got the Frontier's new LED daytime running lights, which I think look fantastic. And then you can see the fog lights down below. Notice how the grille's darker in coloration, but then we've got the orange accenting to signify it's a Pro-4X. We do have some skid plate protection underneath. We also have orange tow hooks as well. And putting it all together, I love the front end design of this truck. Now around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 265, 70, 17 in the front and over in the rear. You can see here with the wheels, you got the silver mixed with the blacked out elements, which creates some nice contrast. And yes, these are all-terrain tires. We also have Bilstein shocks you can't really see, but they're there. Pretty chunky fender flares right here. You got some mud flaps as well. And then we've got the side steps that double as rock rails. You can actually take off the steps if you want, so you can have extra breakover angle clearance. And then notice the trim around the windows is darker. And then here's your full side view with the Frontier PRO-4X. And if you're wondering, the Frontier still utilizes leaf springs. Now I've got the new Nissan logo here on the key fob remote start. We've got our lock and unlock function as well. And then popping into the bed first off the tailgate, slow lowers down. You've got protection on the tailgate itself, and then we have sliders here for cargo tie downs, which is really nice. And yeah, all protection from the factory, which is great. We also have an outlet here in the bed as well. And then when you're all done with the tailgate, it's really easy to lift up. Now taking a look at the taillights, again, really cool design, Pro-4X down below, and then you guys can see Frontier with the Nissan logo, and then we got parking sensors here at the bottom. Now taking a look at the door panel here, you guys can see soft touch here at the top and also down below with the stitching that goes throughout. And then you've got more storage down below, and I like the carbon fiber print here. Now this Frontier has the cloth interior, so you guys can see with the cloth seats, and you got the contrasted stitching, and then I like this trim here down the center as well. I think that looks good. Now legroom here in the back is pretty good, and then you guys can see we've got some charging ports down below, and then headroom is also good back here. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you guys can see soft touch here and then also down below, and then you got the contrasted stitching. We've got all of our window controls, and this one is automatic. You got your door lock and unlock, you got your mirror adjustment, and the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. Oh, and then payload capacity is 1,100 pounds with this particular truck. And then again, you can see with the stitching there, and then notice Pro-4X down below, and then with all the rest of the cloth trim. The seats are power adjustable. And then we have a rear locking differential. We've got stability control, cargo light, and you guys can see the hill descent control, that's for the safety tech, and then the tow haul mode, and then that's to turn on the outlet. Now taking a look at the steering wheel, you guys can see soft touch trim all around, and I like the contrasted stitching here. I also have the Nissan logo front and center. We've got adaptive cruise control. We've got our volume voice command controls as well, and then you guys can see the stocks there on the back. Now taking a look at the gauge cluster, you guys can see that it's analog on either side, but you do have that screen there in the center, which you can use to see a bunch of different bit of information here on the truck. I mean, it's crazy the amount of info that Nissan gives you. Now in reverse, you guys can see we've got a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and then you guys can see the bird's eye view as well. And so cool, it has 360 camera system. You can also press the camera button and then it'll pull up the camera views as well. But we've got this little shortcut bar here at the bottom. As you can see, response time with it's pretty good. We also have the analog controls down below to provide extra shortcuts, I suppose, so it makes using the infotainment system easy. I think this is pretty cool over on the glove box, or above it rather, with the stitching and everything. And then speaking of glove box, pretty decent with the size. It's a little charging port there. And then we've got our dual zone climate controls, which we're just gonna turn those off. But yeah, another nice feature. It also has heated seats and a heated steering wheel. You've got some USBs, parking sensors, all the works. Got some extra storage right there, and then you can see here with the cup holders, shifter for the 9-speed automatic transmission. It's got some orange stitching there on this stock. And then we've got a wireless phone charging pad, and then we've got the center console here. Decent storage there as well. And then with the rear glass, it does open, but it's manual with the operation. Now taking a look at the window sticker, you guys can see 2024 Nissan Frontier, and then here's all the standard equipment, and then you guys can see the base MSRP there, $39,300, total MSRP $45,730, and let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, just do a blind spot monitoring with the rest of the rear, and Frontier PRO-4X away. I feel like every single time I review Frontier PRO-4X, it always has the loaded up interior, so the upgraded seats. I wanted to do a review on one with the cloth seats because I wanted to see if, you know, these were worth getting at all. And so, yeah, that's kind of what today is. If you guys want to see a 24 review on the Frontier with the more loaded up interior, then I'll be more than happy to do that. But first off, of course, as soon as he set off, fuel low. That's funny, sorry. But yeah, ride quality's really good. It's comfy. Got good torque out of the 3.8 liter V6. So that's a big plus. Yeah, I think it drives really well. I mean, when you go over the bumps and everything, it's so comfortable. It's one of the things that's nice about modern pickup trucks, mid-size and full-size, is they're just all really comfortable when it comes to the ride quality. Yeah, braking's pretty good too. Okay, well, people today, I don't know what it is, but people have like the biggest amount of impatience today. It's crazy. But anyways, that's funny. So it's, yeah, it rides well, and the V6, I mean, we're at like 4,000 feet elevation here. It's got good torque here. It's not struggling whatsoever. So I think all of that is a net positive. We'll see what it's like over the train tracks here. So that's always a good test of suspension, and of course, test of these Bilstein shocks. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, we'll see over this next set of train tracks. I think is also pretty good show of suspension of a car. Ooh, little hop. It did good. It did good. Further along here with the driving, another thing that's cool about the Frontier is the steering. Definitely has a kind of like heftier feel to it. That's because they still use a hydraulic unit, and I like it. I actually really like the steering feel because of that. I don't know, I feel like that with the truck, like having heavier steering, that just, it feels more natural. But let's see what the acceleration's like. Transmission's very, very quick to shift. Love this 9-speed. Way better than the Tacoma 6-speed with the previous gen. Obviously the new gen, well, I guess we'll talk about that. The new Tacoma is turbocharged. You can get that hybrid with it, and so completely different than before, right? And so I've said this so many times, and I'll say it again in this Frontier review if you haven't seen my other reviews. This is the last old school reliable pickup truck, mid-size pickup truck on the market, right? But it has some modern stuff. The 9-speed's really quick to shift. That's kind of like more of a modern thing. And then on top of that, it also, you know, has, I mean, the 3.8 liter V6 is pretty old engine, but I mean, it gets pretty good fuel economy for what it is. So if you want a reliable old school pickup truck, which I think a lot of people are looking for nowadays because they're sick of buying these pickup trucks, and you know, they last as long as an iPhone nowadays, it seems like. And so yeah, the Frontier definitely, I think it stands out quite a bit, and it looks like Nissan might be starting to turbocharge some of their vehicles moving forward. So who knows how long this version of the Frontier is going to last before we see some sort of turbocharged engine under the hood. But let me know what you guys think about the Nissan Frontier. I still think this is the sweet spot for those of you looking for a mid-sized pickup truck that's capable and reliable.